Bro, what the fuck? Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. I just wanna touch the top. Baby said that she in love and she don't love the lie. I've been chillin' with all the bros, I've been above the spot. Shawty said that things change, well it does a lot. Hey, watching out the payment, man, the suds is high. Yeah, lost inside the heart, but it's emerging right. I've been out the way and I'm good. I can find my home. Everything I said it was is not. Yeah, Jamaica, how you layin'? Yeah, you ain't say none, what you saying, baby? I lost you, but who's paying? Don't know why you hit my phone, why you playing? Yeah, I can't handle it without the trusting. Yeah, I can see the top, I wanna touch it. Yeah, we been getting money, no discussion. I don't let it top, and shorty always get the fussy. Yeah, hey, I like to cruise on it. Say she like the way I sound and how I groove on them. I been steady dodging bullets, how I move on them. But he talking out his neck and not a crew on them. Yeah, and I'm sliding. Shawty like the vibe, don't want the ride to end. Yeah, to the nice end. Yeah, to the nice end. I can always keep the cool, I'm never fighting. Man, I love is all the cake without the icing. Now I found new love, different pricing. And it won't cost my soul, no devices. Yeah, I ain't got a plan for it, I'm the man for it. Silver Brody couldn't stand for it, it's very important. I've been off the edge, I've been feeling the wind blowing. I can lose my head and my heart, but they been going. I just hit the edge of stairs when it's dead time. I just lost promises, I regret mine. I just get a lot of love on the west side. I'm the go, but I would never be the best guy. You might take me out of business like I'm Best Buy. Talk about the go to make me zooming, I know that's right. Yeah. Talk about the go to make me zooming, I know that's right. Thinking about the future, looking good, and it's the best side. I remember.
Hey, ho, welcome back to another episode of Ride the Tide Sports Podcast, episode 101 in total. But if you want me to be specific, we are in season 2, episode, I don't know, because Tyler didn't put it on the screen, and my memory is not that good. But what you need to know is it's 101 in total, and it's going to be a banging podcast because we have a crap ton of news for you today. I'm Nick Dilly. All the boys are here. We got the Wanderer, we got Tycho, we got Snoop Luke, and I think that we should just bring them all in right now and get right into the sports because
who the fuck is that guy?
A lot of it. We got a lot of it. But let's bring the boys in. Come on now.
I'm here. Snoop Luke is here.
He is, sir.
Roll call.
Roll call. Everybody's here today. Everybody's here today, and Dylan was the last one in, which almost never happens. So, what we were ready to go today. But we're gonna kick it off with NBA news. Get the short stuff out of the way first. We're gonna dive into some NHL free agency. Today was insane when it comes to NHL free agency. We're gonna dive into it later in the podcast. But we have some NBA for you to start. Then we're gonna talk about the MLB update with McDilly. We're gonna get into that, and then after that, we have some NFL news for you, as well as Texas Tech launching a $200 million stadium design. And then we got a little bit of the weekend best bet results, some midweek shenanigans. That's what I'm calling the midweek bets, is the midweek shenanigans, so get used to it. And then we have all of that hockey at the end and UFC. So let's get into it. First things first, NBA news. The NBA has discussed an in-season tournament. What the fuck?
It's happening. 2023, 2024 is looking like the earliest day. We talked about it last year, how there was potential and there was just talks of it happening, but it is now more likely than not to be happening. And they said that the closest it could be happening is 2023, 2024 season, which would be not next season, but the one after.
Hate it.
You hate it? I mean, I feel like there's no point.
There's no point. You're just asking for injury.
It's all 30 teams. They said the Final Four will be at a neutral site, and that's really all that Shams reported.
It's just gonna add injury, or people aren't gonna care enough because there's a finals to work. There's an NBA playoffs to worry about later in the season.
There's going to be one team right now that is like, we don't have any finals rings, but man, those in-season tourneys, we won like 3 of those bitches. It's going to be like the Kings or something. I don't feel like there's a need for it, but that wasn't the only thing that they discussed because they made a good move, in my opinion, and they took away the foul rule, which means that the offensive team will now be awarded with 1 free throw and retain possession unless the foul occurs within the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means fast breaks are going to be a fucking thing again. And you're actually going to be able to do them without watching continuous fouls and getting irritated at your television. That's what I read. I mean, Jesse, what's your take?
I mean, it's a good thing, but because at the end of the day, just give them the momentum, the points are the points. You gave up a fast break. It'll make for some exciting plays that end up happening.
I like that. I think it gives a lot more room for you to be able to make those plays because in the past, you would just hear a whistle.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot. Something good and something bad seems to be quite the fucking NBA's motto.
I got to give and take.
I mean,
Gone forever, Aaron Hernandez.
That came out of nowhere, eh? But staying on more of the bad side of the news for the NBA, the last thing we have is E.J. Liddell tears his ACL. The 2022 second-round pick is going to be out indefinitely after suffering a right knee injury. And this sucks because E.J. Liddell is someone that I thought was going to be a good 6-man on that roster. I think he was going to be a great player off the bench. We know E.J. Liddell was great in Ohio State.
Who the fuck is that guy?
E.J. Liddell played for Ohio State for a couple of years. He's a pretty good player. Get hit.
Who the fuck is that guy?
So this is not the biggest blow, but this is still a blow for the Pelicans, and you hate to see it.
He was 6-man and over Jose Alvarado or Alvarado.
Him and Alvarado on that bench were going to be quite good together. They were going to have really good depth, but swinging out of NBA and swinging into MLB, I caught the memo off the background.
Thank you.
MLB news.
These 2 people, I have no fucking clue on who these guys are talking about. So let's talk about something I can get in on. So Baltimore is the first team we're going to talk about here in the MLB update because let's just face it, folks, Baltimore has not lost a single game since July 2nd.
They
Baltimore.
9-game win streak. 4 of those are walk-offs. They're now on the longest winning streak since 1999. That's when Cal Ripken was on his prime. So the biggest thing that I would tell you is if you're a Baltimore sports fan, also, first time they're 500 since 2017. That needs to be also.
That's nuts.
Most in their
That's
division.
nuts.
We said this last podcast, and I think we're going to say it again. The fact that they're in the division they're in is an absolute travesty because any other division in the AL, they're going probably wild card or they're going to be.
They're going wild card.
So it sucks. I think they're going to be in a 3-way race where they could make it a lot more interesting than people might realize. At the end of the AL, it could be Boston, Toronto, and the Orioles all in the same division, all fighting for a wild card spot in that 3.
Hey, time out real quick. I think we had a hot take over here. I heard something that sounded like it was a guarantee from Mr. Carter.
The Orioles will indeed get to the playoffs over the Rays. I mean the Jays. Totally.
What?
Yeah, I'm saying it now.
Last time I included him in my fucking MLB segments, that was a stupid take. What the hell makes you think that Baltimore is going to have a bad second half of the season? Or, I mean, not Baltimore, Toronto.
It's not that they're going to have a bad.
It's
just Baltimore's
rolling.
going to
They
do better.
fired their manager. They got that shit out of there. And they're about to be rolling.
They're going to roll, but Baltimore's going to roll harder.
Baltimore.
Or they're both going to make it and Boston's going to downfall. But I'm telling you right now,
when you have a team
Orioles
like Baltimore,
are in playoffs.
when you have a team like Baltimore that doesn't have key players, not key players, all-star players, they have key players like Cedric Mullins and like Mountcastle, and I'm not going to say they don't have key players because they do have key players, but 5 out of the wins have been comeback wins. So a lot of the time it's just been by hits or a new player every game has been the key player is what I'm trying to say. That's a lot of momentum. Similar to how when the Tigers bad team and they won 8 in a row, it didn't have a key guy. It was momentum. So at the same thing, it's going to be a lot harder for Baltimore to keep this momentum with lesser talent going out the end of the year than it will be for Toronto, who has higher caliber players such as Vladdy and fucking so forth. You know what I mean? So that's just what I think. I think that take is so hard to make because if you look at the caliber of roster depth and just not to mention the second half of the schedule, Baltimore has a tougher schedule.
They do?
They do. But it's only because the fact that but you also had to factor in the first half of the year they were losing to them. So maybe it could be different second half of the year.
Listen, I think that the people
their division's so hard.
Bringing up that have filled the slots so well that they have a consistency of hitting. I think this is going to be a streak that either ends at 10 or it doesn't get to 10.
Okay.
But I don't think that the consistency of their hitting is going to die.
You know what? As a baseball fan, I hope that take is right. I will say that because Baltimore in the playoffs, everybody in their right mind that knows of baseball is riding Baltimore right now, and they love it. So that's good for them. Speaking over, what's up, Ty? You're muted.
All I'm going to say is we could be the curse because we talked about the Tigers' 7-game heater, and then it went right into a 4-game losing streak. So if we jinx Baltimore, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that.
And we jinxed Arizona in the beginning of the year. So
yeah, we did. So let's see what Baltimore does here, huh? Or the Ride the Tide curse might snap.
We'll see. But the past 3 times we talked about them in their walk-offs, they've kept walking it off. So we'll see. Now, Miggy, and I'm just going to read this that the Tigers tweeted out yesterday, and then I'll get into it. Miggy had his 40th career stolen base and is now tied for 1,869th all-time, baby. Give him another leaderboard record. We love Miggy. That's why he's an all-star. But anyway. The Tigers were playing the Royals yesterday, and they won the game. But the big storyline is Miguel Cabrera was on second base, and he was pushed halfway to second base, and I think that he decided – fuck it. And he just decided on his own that he was going to steal. He decided to go to third.
He was halfway to third.
He was. That's what I meant, halfway to third. And he decided that he was going to just say, fuck it. He stole third. They made a shitty throw. Mickey keeps hustling, and he scores home, and he's laughing the entire way home. Here's where it gets better. Then they asked A.J. Hinch after the game, what were your comments when Mickey originally took off for third?
Gone forever, Aaron Hernandez.
Why do you keep cutting me off? A.J. Hinch said, quote unquote, holy shit. That's all he had to say. And then they asked Miggy about it, and he just said, thank God that I was safe. So Miggy's like, hey, man, if I would have been out, boy, I would have been on the not top 10 number 1. He probably knew it, but the fact that he did steal, he made every highlight reel in baseball, and we love that.
That catcher was like, all right, I got Miggy on second. I don't got to worry about that.
Chilling. It was MJ, too.
Yeah.
Fucking rookie catcher. He's not thinking about Miggy.
Nah.
That's why he probably threw it away.
Like, Miggy? You taking off? Oh, shit.
He was so rattled.
Completely threw it away. He threw it terribly.
That's what you do, though. You catch him off guard. I think it's pretty smart. Okay. Back to part 3 of Robin. I love this. The Adventures of Cano. It's a perfect way to title it. Because Robinson Cano he was sucking dick over in the Padres, right? And they cut him. Or they didn't cut him, apparently. They sent him to the minor of AAA. In AAA, he was hitting 333, 369, 474. That's his slugging average and OBP. And he is putting on a show, absolutely hitting back-to-back games with 2-homer games. Starts raking again because he's a grown veteran playing AAA ball. So he gets traded. Here is...
Hold on. Hold the phone. Drop everything. We got breaking news.
I already had the
Johnny Hockey
just
agreed.
You told me I couldn't say it.
To a 7-year, $68.6 million deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Beginning of the pod when I freaked out.
God damn it. horrible. I wanted him here.
No, he wasn't going to Detroit.
Oh, shut your
Off
mouth.
all the
Steve
signings
is
that
in
Stevie
charge,
Y,
not
off all
you.
the Stevie Y signings that he made today, all the good little signs. I think that was where all the money was going. But I don't want to get into hockey because we'll go into that for a minute. But
fucking Dylan's a
Robinson,
cock sucking.
Robinson Cano got traded. Jesse, what do you think he got traded for? Picks, players, money. Take a guess.
A little bit of cash, probably nothing.
Exactly. Robinson Cano got traded for $1. $1. I kid you not. 8-time All-Star. $1.
Bro. Damn, I ain't worth shit, man. Can I only worth $1?
Cano got traded to the Braves and will be making his debut against the Mets for $1.
Is he getting PT? You're telling me they got this man for $1? I hope he starts cracking, and
I hope he goes off.
I hope he goes stupid.
I really do. I think this would be amazing. This would be one of the greatest deals you could say of all time. 8-time All-Star for $1.
$1?
We're gonna move on, but
Baseball, you could trade a nigga for $1? Dog, they disrespectful.
they traded him for cash for $1 fucking.
That shit is not a gentleman's sport anymore to me.
Nah.
There's no class in baseball. $1?
Cano feels.
$1?
Hey, we're shipping you over. For who? Picks? Prospects? No. Cash. How much? $1 mil? No. $1.
Gone forever, Aaron Hernandez.
Honestly, bro, if Cano retired after that fucking came out, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Nope.
I would. He said, "I know my worth."
The Braves are like, we would have paid more, but we literally started at $1 and they say a word.
We started at one. They were like,
He was like, hey, they won't say yeah, but fuck it, let's throw it out there. $1. Can we do $1? Yeah.
all right.
That'll do.
Speaking of outrageous shit, going on to other outrageous shit, a little bit of sad news. Whit Merrifield will not play for the Royals yesterday. Why is that sad? Because it is the first game he is not playing in 553 straight baseball games, which was the current longest Iron Man streak, and now it's only like 100-some games, which is not fun anymore. But Whit Merrifield was the role of an everyday player, and it's sad to see him go. He only had 600 more games to go, and he would have passed Cal Ripken's record. I read that. Isn't that crazy? Cal Ripken, it was over 1,200. That's the record for straight games played in a row.
Like every game in the series, like literally.
They start to finish every game. Or, no, started every game. I mean, not to finish. Started every game. That's insane. So,
Durability.
sad for Whit Merrifield. But last bit of baseball news. It's not fully complete. We have 6 out of the 8 home run derby participants, but it is looking fucking stacked. So I just want to reveal some of the participants so far, all that's been announced. We have Pete Alonso, the former champ, who is going to be back into the home run derby, and he's my pick to get the fucking three-peat because he's having David Justice.
Justice.
Jauss. Joss? David Joss is pitching to Pete Alonso. And for those of you who don't know, past 2 home run derbies, that's the strike zone. Those are where all the pitches have gone. Reds home runs. So, I have no problem that Pete Alonso will be absolutely raking. But we have some other big, powerful bats in it. Indeed, we have Juan Soto. We have Ronald Acuna Jr. We have Kyle Schwarber. I know that's Jesse's pick. And then we also have Albert Pujols, who will be going into his 5th home run derby.
But I like him.
You just like him right now.
Like him.
But there could be.
He is quite the power right now.
I understand. And he leads the National League in home runs, so it's a good pick to have. But the last man that was just announced today is the rookie, Julio Rodriguez. Shocked a lot of people, but he's only second in the American League in home runs. He has the power. He had a slow start, but he came out and started raking. So I think that he's going to be a fun kid to watch, but some people are not very happy about this one.
He didn't have that much pop last year, I feel like.
Well, last year he wasn't in the league. He's a rookie.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like in AAA he didn't have that much pop.
He didn't. He wasn't known for his power until the end of the year. He had like a streak where he hit a homers in a bunch of games, and then at the beginning of this year in spring training, he started raking. And then there was, okay, once we bring him into the league, he's going to go crazy. That was kind of where all the hype came around it. But Home Run Derby should be good. We still have 2 more people that are going to be announced, and that should be coming up in a couple of weeks. Vote Miggy. Anyways.
Would it be the ultimate disrespect to the Detroit Tigers organization, as a whole, if they voted in Isaac Paredes and then he won?
I could see it happening.
And then he won.
This man is now playing completely different baseball, offensively and defensively, and is now one of the best fielders in the AL. And I hate it. I hate it so much.
Well, no reason to dwell on it, so let's not talk about it anymore.
That's what pisses me off. We didn't even give him more than a year's worth of time.
Well,
we had a full infield. That's what happened. And then we decided we'd rather stick with Jonathan Scope. That was the decision we made. But we got some NFL news to talk about here, so let's get right into it. Starting with the Bears, who acquired N'Keal Harry from the Patriots. How about this move, huh?
The Bears have a really, I don't want to say underrated receiving core, but they have names that are like, all 5 of these names, you look at them, you like, they could have a good year, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, but it's the fucking Bears, Dylan. At the end of the day, the Bears aren't good. The Bears are bad. The Bears are the Bears. Chicago, gonna be Chicago.
All I'm going to say is he better have a better run with the Bears than he did with the Patriots, because that shit turned into a dumpster fire.
So, N'Keal Harry is not an all-star stud muffin. He's good, but he's no game changer.
He's Schmid.
Exactly. Yeah, he's all right. The QB for the Patriots?
Bears.
Or the Bears? Justin Fields.
Okay. So I wanted to get a reading of the underrated
Justin Fields is gonna
receiving core that Dylan was talking about.
We're talking specifically about Darnell Mooney. There's no one. I don't think there's anyone else on that team.
I didn't say underrated.
You said it was an underrated receiving core.
No, I stopped myself. I said I want to say underrated, but I would rather just say that there are 5 players that you look at and you go, they could have a year, but they're the Bears. That's what I said, quote unquote.
It's pretty close. I did help persuade that near the end because I was getting impatient with your words. But the next thing we have up, speaking of quarterbacks, is Baker and Sam will be having a quarterback battle for the position in Carolina. And what's really funny about this is that as shitty of a year as Carolina had and as shitty of a year as Baker had, their numbers were eerily similar when it comes to QBR, passing, all this completion percentage. Almost everything is a percent or 2 numbers off. So it really is a battle in Carolina to see who can be the most average quarterback to try to lead this team to at least 7 wins.
The coach is going to be watching it like at the end of the day, getting up to the regular season, the day before, they'll be like, I got to pick one of these 2? God damn it.
Well, I go PJ.
Flip a coin.
Well, here's my thing.
Flip a coin.
Week 1, they're playing the Browns. So I think that's
you play
a little
Baker.
bit of influence on playing Baker. Because Baker literally just said in an interview today at a press conference, oh, there's one game circled on my calendar, and I'd be a fool and not say it's week 1. So,
okay, yeah, but like he's still gonna roll the dice before the game starts to determine how much effort and how much he's gonna fuck up.
Let Baker go out.
Yeah, what if he gets super ignorant?
Look, Baker also was stupid injured and played through stupid injury.
Well, he's also stupid.
What about before the injury? What about all those fuck ups?
Let's just say that it doesn't matter who starts the quarterback for Carolina week 1 because they're playing the Browns, who are not going to have a starting quarterback on week 1. So it doesn't matter which one of them play. They're going to win regardless. So whoever –
that run game, they could win without a quarterback.
True.
Yeah, but the quarterback is still
if it stays healthy.
Case Keenum.
If the run game stays healthy,
it's going to be a little.
Have you seen Case Keenum?
A little harder.
I just have zero faith in Carolina, aside from defense, and I feel like their pass defense is better than their run defense. So I feel like the Browns aren't completely out of the game.
They're
They were
not, but
worse.
they're just. Here's the thing: they have a lot of weapons, but when you look at their main primary factor, that quarterback is what generates all of it. When
And
you
then
take
the
a quarterback like Deshaun Watson into that offense, it's not so more that it's going to be hurting them without him. It's once he comes in and they're rolling, they win a game with that offense, they're going to be a team that they're going to get some momentum going. With not having Watson the first, I think it's 6 to 8 games or whatever, you're already going to be putting him in a hole when he does come
What?
in.
he might get a year
He's
suspension.
probably like the
He's,
minimum.
he's supposed to miss a
They're
whole.
just
I
talking.
saw a
Yeah.
report saying it was
Nothing's
going to be like
official.
6 to 8 games.
Yeah.
That
They have no
I mean,
idea. Everyone's
all I've
speculating.
heard,
But it's
yeah,
all
all I've
rumors.
heard was the minimum was going to be a year, like minimum.
Whoa.
It's all speculation. Literally
It's all
everything
rumors,
that you
yeah.
guys are saying is speculation. So just stop saying it because it's not true.
Rumors.
Heinz
Just like
Field is gone forever, and that is true. So with that being said, they got some stupid
God,
ass
the
name
name
now.
is so stupid.
They just named it after what company?
Acrisure Field.
Acrisure. Yeah, there it is. I'm pretty sure Acrisure is actually owned by a Michigan State graduate, so that's actually pretty cool. Local college there, so getting some cred there in Pittsburgh. So goodbye Heinz Field, goodbye ketchup bottle.
It's a damn shame.
Now it's just going to start looking like LA, where we're going to have to start having more crypto fields and whatnot. I don't know how I feel about that. But next up, we got Texas Tech, like I teased earlier, to launch a $200 million stadium design. And that stadium design was posted thanks to Texas Tech's Twitter. And here are the designs, at least what they posted on their Twitter.
And that video they released was sick.
The video was sick as well. But I think I'm going to have to take a trip down to Texas Tech if they're going to make this boy. This boy
that's
looks
a great
sick.
facility. And I could already imagine that that's probably going to be something that's done, like the longer it takes, the better it's going to be. Just that's the vibe I get from that. I'm honestly excited.
Something tells me it ain't going to take long.
That's the thing about college fields that I enjoy when it comes to like professional sports and college stadiums. It takes a lot less time to make the college stadiums for 2 reasons. 1, less people. And 2, you have a smaller space. You don't have all this big ground, and you're on a college campus, so you have factors to work into. But
Right. That's why you see the structure though, like built so quick, and then it takes them a year and a half to do everything on the inside because they're going to put so much inside of that area that they do have to work with.
Can I ask you one question? You think Mahomes donated any money for this shit?
Yeah, I think that's
this
the reason.
is all Patty Mahomes.
He got a $500 million fucking contract. Dude, I think he definitely donated some money.
Come on now.
I don't think there's any question about that. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Taking a quick break in the action here to tell you about sixpackcoverage.com. Make sure you guys check out sixpackcoverage.com because, hey, that's where you find our podcast as well as other sports, finance, food, travel, fitness, and entertainment podcasts for your own personal needs. Whatever you're into, hop on there, check it out. Sixpackcoverage.com also has a shop where you can shop for all your favorite six-pack coverage wants and needs like flags and t-shirts, including the Ride the Tide t-shirt, which is out now. Be sure to check out sixpackcoverage.com today.
All right, and we're back. Let's get right into the weekend best bets results. So if anybody checked on the Tampa Bay Rays, they were on life support against the Cubs because they got swept. And with that being said, I definitely lost my bet, but Dylan won his. So with that being said, how did the rest of you guys do? Because me and Dylan picked the same game.
I don't know.
Not too shabby.
Luke was on
You got it in?
I got it on the money.
Luke got it on the money, bro.
What was your bet?
It was Raphael. Okay, I gotta look at his name, otherwise I'm gonna botch the fuck
Raphael
out of it.
Fazeev.
Fazeev by KO round 5. Well, I didn't say round 5, but KO. That's just when it happens. 18 seconds into round 5.
But you told This man did say after the pod, though, that he had a round 5, so I'm going to give him his credit for that. That's why I say on the money. He said it was going to be a late knockout.
Props to you. But I'm 0-1. Jesse, you fell short.
Yep. I fell short by 4 strikeouts.
He had one
What was the bet?
strikeout. I saw the 8 runs.
All I got was one fucking.
Was it 4.5? 5.5?
I had
That's
5
tough.
on the dot. So 4.5.
Wow. That is depressing. We'll see what Jesse's gonna go with this time here. But with that being said, we're gonna get into the midweek shenanigans. So that's exactly what I'm calling the basically the bets for the middle of the week. So we're gonna hop on here. We're gonna figure out. I kind of want to pick the game after Dylan, so I'm gonna let Dylan go first because I'm not picking the same game as him this time.
Let me go second.
I was disappointed.
Doing mine right now.
I was
doing mine
disappointed.
Right now. So start with Luke.
And I was like, thanks, Dylan.
Don't start with me. I don't even have a game.
Whoa, come on.
None of us have a game.
Well, let me talk
No
to
one
the
said
folks out
anything
here.
about having a midweek shenanigan. Ready?
I got you.
I didn't know
I got
this
you.
thing either.
This is just midweek shenanigans.
Jesse's midweek shenanigans is the Orioles will continue their streak tonight and make it to 10. Bet them on the money line. Plus 128 in a little bit.
All right, Dylan, I hope you're ready now because we're heading your way. Jesse's got you with his midweek shenanigan. Dylan, your midweek shenanigan. What you got?
All right. I like this. Give me the Angels winning tonight against the Astros on the upset at home with Shohei Ohtani on the mound.
Dylan taking Angels money line with his midweek shenanigan. Luke, we're kicking it over your way now. Midweek shenanigan, what you got?
Well, since it's a single bet and I can't throw 2 pitchers in here, give me the Nerfy, the NRFI between the Brewers and Giants Thursday, July 14th at 9:45 p.m. We have Burns and Rodon pitching.
Okay, you heard it, folks. We
bet.
got solid pitchers on the mound going for the Nerfy. Going for the Nerfy. All right, midweek shenanigans. Here's what I got for you. Thursday at 12:11 p.m. This is a midday, no one's going to watch it game. And that's exactly why the Miami Marlins are going to smoke the Pirates. And they're going to win by -1.5. Take the Miami Marlins -1.5 tomorrow at 12:11 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. We got Garrett pitching. This guy has been a freaking stud muffin. I think that the Marlins are a lock. Lock it in, midweek shenanigans.
I got some news. It's not too breaking, but it's news. Jose Ramirez.
You got it anyways.
is our 7th home run derby batter.
Dylan,
Man,
are you okay with that?
It's kind of fucking. I don't really fucking understand that, but okay. He kind of just went on a slump where he went 27 straight games without a home run, but I actually think that makes no sense. But okay.
Well, they're trying to help him get his home run back, all right? I think that makes perfect sense. It's just batting
Jeez
practice.
Louise.
It's just batting
Wasted
practice.
pick. Boo! Should have put Ohtani in there.
But now we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about something else, and that something else is exactly what caused this to happen earlier in the podcast. And that was motherfucking NHL free agency. That's what happened earlier. And we have to start it off with, I guess, exactly what we started off with earlier. And that was the breaking news for what's his face, Johnny Hockey. That's who's his face, going to the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's the first one I think we need to talk about.
Yes. Why the Blue Jackets? I don't know. I don't see the Blue Jackets on being such a big rise, on a big stretch to a team that you just want to flood to and try and make better. But hey, who knows? Maybe he likes it there.
They're an under 500 hockey team that gave him a pay cut to sign him. Or Johnny took the pay cut to get signed, which I'm a little confused about. But that must mean that he wanted to go to Columbus. So something about Columbus, obviously, he wanted to go there. If he was willing to take a pay cut to go to
I
a
don't
team
know. I know that
500.
his family is an East Coast, like he's an East Coast guy, so he wanted to get closer to the East Coast, which is why I initially, once I heard that, I was like, okay, we're on the way to the East Coast, like it's possible. And then I was like, nah, no way. He's definitely going to go to like Boston or somewhere like East Coast, or New Jersey, because he's from New Jersey. And no, he went right next door to Columbus, so that hurts a little bit. Not gonna lie. And I think that he just likes the I think he just likes the young guys in Columbus. I mean, if he's gelling with some of those young guys, maybe they've talked in the past. Maybe that was just a desirable location for him because Johnny Hockey was offered a giant contract by Calgary, and he told Calgary it's not about the money.
Bro,
I just
let's
don't want
not
to be.
forget, last
I want to play
year,
somewhere else.
he had a career high in points at 115, career high in goals at 40, career high in assists at 75, and a career high plus minus at plus 64.
Yeah, and then he just didn't see himself and that team ever winning a Stanley Cup, obviously, or else he would have stayed because he knows he's the best player on the team.
You know the position McKinnon was in last year when the Avs got eliminated, and he was like, I've been here for like 8-9 years and have nothing to show for it, and I'm sick of losing. Maybe that's what ultimately happened to Johnny. He was like, I'm producing and playing so good, and we are getting nowhere. Maybe he just wants a fresh start.
This essentially is what Nathan McKinnon, this is what could have happened. So we're going to see whether or not it was the right decision. I mean, Nathan McKinnon, he ended up staying and they won the cup. Let's see what happens if you leave and you go to a different team that's not, as good as the team that you were on and not as, in that prime position. Obviously, Nathan McKinnon, if he would have left the Avalanche, would have had more of a detrimental effect on how the Avalanche were, and they probably wouldn't have made the run that they did this year. But same time, Johnny Hockey joining Columbus, all of a sudden Columbus has, like Dylan said, like a 70, 80 point score. Like, they're
he's going to a
however
team
many
where
points.
he's going to be the best player.
Yeah.
Exactly, but he's playing with like Cam Atkinson. Like he's got some young, good talent. Maybe they're just going to gel together. Well, we'll see when it comes down to it. But we have a lot more to talk about. So I do want to talk about this speculation first. Patrick Kane, we talked about it before. Basically, everyone that Patrick Kane has ever liked playing with in Chicago is gone. Almost everyone is gone. And there's almost no chance that he stays. I think we just can say it's guaranteed.
Even the reporters in Chicago are saying, like, it's becoming a sad time. Like, people in Chicago are starting to realize, like, it's kind of in that era of, like, when we all saw, like, Tatar and Athanasiou and everyone go, and it was like, yeah, like, there's really no one left. That's how they're at.
I would compare it more to the Tigers.
I was just about to say the Tigers, and I tried to make it hockey, and I shouldn't have, but
Martinez, Verlander, Scherzer,
they know.
Gone.
And that's the thing. The worst part of it is when you know right before it happens, and there's nothing.
You're like, oh, here we go. You're like, we fell short. This was the last chance we had. Shit, it's going downhill.
Because when it comes to their Cubs, their dynasty, Kane's the last piece that remains there for the fans, at least. So when he leaves, that's gonna be hard.
No one's going to a Blackhawks game to see Jonathan Toews. I know that for sure.
No, I'm sorry.
But you know who wants to come back?
Yager
wants to come back. This man, Yager, maybe 50. He may be old, but he said, I am strong and I can fucking skate. I'm not fast, but I can fucking do it. I'm still good. If you need me, sign me up.
He said, I'm 50
He said, let him know.
Old. He said, I'm 50 years old. I'm slow, but I'm strong. I have good hands, and I can only play home games. I'm your guy.
Hey.
Boom.
Hey, he's like the perfect key because every player on that ice will give him the respect and will not touch him to hurt him. So they're going to give him his space, and he's just going to go skate all around with open space, give some passes. You know, he's a little cheat code.
He'll be
Could
playing
be a
beer
cheat
league out
code.
there when everyone else is
But
playing.
they
Like,
can't, dude. His hand, he actually, his hands are good. He's a solid hockey player. He's really good,
He
like
still
with
is.
his hands. So if you give a good hockey player, like I mean, when I was still playing high school hockey, like back in the high school days, we played against the Red Wings that were like 60 years old, like the alumni team from God
Mhm.
knows when. And at that age, they don't even have to skate fast. They're that freaking good. It's
that
ridiculous.
experience.
But I mean, Yager, I want to see him back in.
If Detroit signs Yager, I will lose my fucking mind.
I'll buy a Yager jersey, but he's got to sign it. I got to get it signed. But next
call,
up,
Steve.
we'll go up here to the shittiest hockey team to ever exist on planet Earth, Pittsburgh Penguins. Malkin is re-signing to
Fucking
Pittsburgh.
penis.
He also has a clause in this contract where he cannot be moved, so he will be staying in Pittsburgh and forever pissing me off.
You know what he said?
Until he retires.
He said practically the only reason he was able to agree on a contract was Sidney Crosby. Like Sidney Crosby had to pull LeBron or Tom Brady and be like, "Hey, you're my buddy, you're my boy. Us three, us and Letang, we're never splitting up. You're staying with me. We're signing a deal. We're doing this shit. Come on now." And he fucking did it. So Crosby.
But the difference is, they're not Tom Brady.
I know. I'm just saying Crosby had to pull a Tom Brady and get his buddy like Gronk to come on, stay, sign a deal, and he got a deal signed for 4 years. So
all that drama.
I just don't like the comparison because like they're gonna win a Super Bowl. Like
they're
Tom Brady says that, like they're going to the playoffs. They're gonna be in the NFC or AFC championship, like guaranteed.
There, that's what I'll say. Sidney had to play GM. I'll just say that.
Kinda. Or maybe he has some blackmail on his girlfriend or his wife. I don't know. Evgeny's Russian. Maybe there's some mafia things going on. Who knows? But
all that drama just for it to be a re-sign with the no move clause.
I see another first round.
Yeah, how about those apples? I was all excited Malkin was going to go somewhere. But we talked about Patrick Kane. We'll talk about Evander Kane as well because Evander Kane re-signs in Edmonton. He may have gotten into some dicey situations gambling in San Jose, but in Canada, he is a clean bird. So they kept him around, and the Edmonton Oilers, 4 more years of Evander Kane. So, he's bound to do something stupid in Canada. So I probably wouldn't have signed him to a 4-year deal. That's kind of
2 thumbs up.
Maybe he's better in Canada.
Huh?
Maybe he's better in Canada.
He went crazy in playoffs. So
maybe
like personality, maybe like personality wise, it switched him up a little bit.
He was good in the playoffs when he was in Canada, and that would be an atmosphere that you'd assume he'd be stupid. So maybe.
Yeah, they were winning, and he was him. Draisaitl and McDavid were the best.
Point scorers. I think that he had a great playoff, to be honest.
Well, that's probably why he wasn't having any issue.
Exactly.
I think that's why he got re-signed for 4 years. Maybe I'm just speculating.
We got to see what they do when he starts losing.
Yeah.
See when he's on the deep border of the Detroit River and Windsor just gambling away. Well, we'll see.
As long as he's with Draisaitl and McDavid, bro, and he just keeps being that scoring piece for him while they make plays, that's going to be a tough line to deal with for the next couple of years.
Defense, but that's another conversation.
Yeah,
they do need defense, but they need a goalie.
They got a goalie.
I mean, they got a goalie. Yeah.
They just got one. It's funny you say that.
They got one, but they got one.
Did they just get another one, Dylan? Is that what you're saying? You're doing a little tappity tap on the little screening Maroney and cheese there.
Well, yeah, I was gonna go to it because I know it's not in order, but I figured.
Oh, well, are you gonna go to it like sometime yesterday, or is that tomorrow's agenda?
No, I'm going to it today.
Oh.
Sorry.
Do 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 do.
Find it.
Do 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 do.
Gone forever, Aaron Hernandez.
Jesus.
I had it, but I can't find it. I'm sorry.
If this goes off before you find that,
I'll give you one more chance.
Jack Campbell.
There you go.
Oh, hey.
They signed Jack Campbell to a deal.
How about that?
Yeah. I mean, they got a goalie, but I mean,
Like you said.
Former Toronto goalie.
they just got a goalie.
Wait. I got you more details. Oilers signed Jack Campbell, Toronto's goaltender, to a 5-year, $5 million deal.
Well, we all know Toronto was looking for a goalie for certain reasons, so I don't think that's anything to be impressed about because a goalie from Toronto is clearly not too good.
Did you see the goalies in the by the Canadians teams? They're always getting lit the fuck up.
So if you're a goalie for Toronto, you probably choke, and the Oilers goalies normally choke. So I think it seems like a perfect fit.
All right, yeah, you know what? It's a perfect fit. It is a perfect fit. It's like dust in a dustpan, baby. Next up, Giroux signs with the Senators. I know this one probably hurt our old pal Travi Wergo there. The old Claude boy is gone.
Oh, he knows that they're just.
Well, I think we all knew.
Once he went to Florida, he wasn't going back to Philly.
But Giroux with the Senators.
I guess
Senators are trying to make a push now for being decent. What is happening?
I don't know, but I guess Giroux wasn't with the stopping at the strip clubs during playoff time, so he's like, let's pack my bags and head away from Florida.
Yeah, gonna have to go all the way up north. Florida changed him. He said, "This is not it, man."
He said, "This isn't me, man."
All the way up,
all
the way up. But I think that honestly, the Ottawa Senators signing Giroux like this or Claude Giroux is honestly what the Red Wings could have done with like a Johnny Hockey type of situation. But I'm kind of glad that we didn't do something like this because I think we're building it the right way instead of just going and trying to grab a big name that's like 30 years old, like trying to win right now. That's not it. Steve knows that's not it. And I think that this will probably end up killing the Senators in about 2-3 years time.
So
to be honest, I don't think it's gonna really affect it. I think it's gonna make them a little bit better, just with the veteran presence and all that, with the skill player. But at the same time, they're kind of a very young team, still growing. So it's like, I mean, he's not really going there to help them make a huge playoff push right now.
I definitely agree. And I don't think that it's like a win now type of situation there, but I think that it'll definitely be something to watch.
I'm confused on his, on going with the sentence, but
So am I. It's an open market. You can do what you want. That was an interesting decision.
Got himself in an interesting situation with the sentence.
Definitely. And Luke, I know you're a Rangers guy. We'll let you dive into this one here. Vincent Trocheck signs with the Rangers.
He was pretty decent for the Rangers, I like it. It's gonna, I don't really have much on him, but
you like him?
Contract? I mean, I did like him. I like how he plays. It's a big added for. Hopefully, it's gonna help out. Mika. Zibanejad.
At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
I can tell you right now.
That's all that matters.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm pissed. So if you want a little more info on that, as Canes fans, we're not happy. Very good forward that's no longer on the team. So it sucks.
Yeah, Dylan, let's hear it.
Just so you know, I know about him. I watched him.
Your dick soft right now?
And I watched him do very well the year.
You're a Canes fan for a playoffs.
So I'm very
calm down.
I said the past 3 years. So how would it just be the playoffs? Make it make sense, Luke. Jesus.
Yeah, Dylan became a fan when they started winning games and doing weird things.
3 years ago, I became a fan of these guys.
Dylan became a fan when they started doing the fucking.
I will say, if that's true, I only heard you ever talk about them during the playoff run.
Well, I don't talk about.
There was not shit to talk about before that.
There's no team I ever talk about besides Detroit regular season. And Kraken.
Well, you kind of obsess over LeBron James. You kind of suck his dick and the Lakers' dick.
For hockey,
what happened when they started losing? No, nothing.
For hockey,
no, not for hockey. No.
Anyways, the next player that was signed was Domi
and
Anthony Ciu to Chicago. And honestly, I'm very confused because these are two really good players, and I thought Chicago wasn't going to be good, but these are good players.
Well, they're not very old.
They're good young players. Probably going to be traded at the deadline.
They're
both on
trying
one-year
to
deals.
rebuild and scrap a rebuild at any possible to try and get a jump. They're basically at the very start of their shit.
Get Anthony Ciu on a good team.
So with
It's
that
not fair.
being said,
They're probably just filling up.
is
just
this to try to save Patrick Kane from leaving? Is that what they're trying to do? Is this coming full circle here?
They're trying. They're doing.
Is that what this is? Do you think this is I think this might be a sad attempt at desperately trying to hold on to Patrick Kane. Does anybody think that I might be onto something?
I agree.
They're holding on to ticket sales.
Does anybody think that I'm wrong?
Luke, you're not saying anything. Either way.
I don't know where you lie, but
yeah.
he didn't disagree with me, so I ain't fucking.
I didn't know I needed to
Something
verbally
that I
agree.
think, though, is good. Well,
I agree or disagree. So
I was asking
no
who agreed, and you didn't say anything. So then I was like, okay, let me ask who disagrees, because Luke will probably say something because he sounds like he must disagree. But you didn't say anything for either of them, so I was just like, all right.
That's Luke.
Yeah. Speaking of Luke, he looks a lot like this other guy too. Brent Burns is also going to be wearing a red jersey and a big fat beard with some long dark hair, looking just like Luke, but in a Calgary jersey. Or not Calgary.
Kane's jersey.
Kane's jersey. My bad. C's, red, same thing. Too much free agency. He will be joining the Canes. This is weird for me because he's not wearing blue. So I'm uncomfy. But I think it's a good signing for the Canes. I just think that it's going to be really weird to get used to him being on the Canes. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think it's going to be a little funky. Because I saw the picture of him in the red Canes jersey, and I was like, dude, him in red is just weird.
This is just weird.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he just looks out of place.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little weird. But I really like the trade. I'm happy as hell.
Do you?
Yes.
Or are you still
Everybody loves Brett Burns.
Yeah, but
when was the last time he was really big relevant, though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
okay,
when did they start? No, you don't whoa me. I'm sick of you running this whole podcast. I ain't heard you shut your mouth once. Fuck. When it comes to Brent Burns, he's like the next PK Subban, where he just kind of gets chopped around after he had his prime in San Jose. That was the best of Brent Burns that you're going to get. Like, that was Brent Burns, bang. Then he starts getting shopped around. There's a reason that he's not staying places. You know what I'm saying? So he's just going to become the next PK Subban.
He is.
I disagree.
More skilled than above average defenseman that's just going to be on his way out of his career in years to come.
Now the whoa part.
All right. The whoa part is that the past 2-3 years, I think we all saw that San Jose as a whole was on the downfall, and that any player that was basically relevant besides, I can't remember his name, but he's still right there. There's only one player that's producing right now. But Evander Kane, Brett Burns, everyone else, Carlson got fucking injured, but everyone else that was producing in some way, they're gone. So I think that this isn't Burns on the downfall. I think that Brett Burns was on a bad team last year, and the only person that was really even talked about was Evander Kane, but not for the right reasons. So I think that Brett Burns going to Carolina is going to be a situation of he's not going to be one of the best defensemen in the league, but I don't think he's going to be a PK Subban where he's just irrelevant and no one really cares about him. He just gets off team to team the rest of the league. I think he's going to be a decent defenseman. I think he's going to provide good veteran leadership. I think that he's going to help him with a playoff push. That's what I think.
Yeah, I say my statements based off watching him play the last couple of years, and yeah, he's not who he used to be.
Well, his plus minus last year was minus 15. He had 54 points, but he only had 10 goals. He had 44 assists. As far as I'm concerned, doesn't this man used to be more of a factor when it comes to goal scoring?
Or fifth. Bottom
Did he not used to be more of a factor when it comes to goal scoring?
Yeah, that was when they had an offense.
You can still play offense.
Yeah,
So,
that doesn't stop you from playing offense, and
well,
actually, that makes you
when you don't have an
try and
offense that's
produce more.
producing,
Hockey's
you don't have
hockey,
an offense
bro.
that's scoring.
Have
You're
you
not
seen
supposed
Alex
to be on the
Porzondek play
defense to
hockey?
score the goals.
Stop it.
Actually, when your offense isn't scoring, it kind of is more on the defense to start scoring some fucking goals to rejuvenate the offense to
Break it
help them
down
out.
1 and 2. Offense.
He was
versus
tied for 47th in assists, tied for 108th in points. His plus minus of minus 15 was ranked over 150. He's in the 150 plus category. He's not even under 150.
Last time
There's
we had
100
this argument, it was about
there's
Nelson
150.
Aguilar.
He's been on the
6 months ago, and I was
downslopes
right.
of goals since like his last good goal season was 2016-17.
What was the last one, Dylan, you said?
I said the last time we had an argument like this about a player was about Nelson Aguilar, and I ended up being right, so I feel okay.
It's okay to feel okay.
What?
I also feel okay.
I'm just saying, so I feel okay.
Okay.
I'm glad that Dylan feels okay. Thank you for letting us know you're supported. We support you.
I appreciate it.
Don't ever give up on your dreams, Dylan.
What train?
Okay, well, that's depressing. Luke, let's talk about Tampa Bay.
All right, we are signing back the fucking trio. This is basically Tampa pulling their fucking straps up, signing Sergachev, Sorelli, and there was I thought you were about to write all three of them in there. Sergachev, Sorelli, and Chernak, all for 8 years. Sergachev
Yeah, what's up with
8.5 mil. Sorelli gets 6.25 mil, and Chernak is 5.2 mil. What this basically is saying, this is their future. This is who they're going to be riding with to help rebuild their team from the whole salary cap management, from building up a big fat dynasty to having to cut down to rebuild a little bit to keep
cut
up
down
the
and
strength.
also maintain.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're preparing for the future. If it falls to shit, then they got their boys to help bring them out of the shit. But, I mean, I don't think they're going to be falling to shit anytime soon.
I would not expect that. I think they're going to be like a little Boston thing here. I think we're going to get some Bruin vibes from them in the next couple of years. That's where I think it's headed.
Big playoff team.
There's another team headed somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. We tend to get stuck somewhere along the lines of getting good and then falling backwards on our faces. And anyways, yeah, I'm talking about the Detroit Red Wings. So the Red Wings free agency signings is just something we got to note because, well, we're Wings people around here. So
Steve's going off.
that's the way it is. But first up, we got Ben Sherratt. Not sure. Ben was signed from the Florida Panthers to a 4-year, $4.75 million contract. Next up, we got Andrew Kopp from the New York Rangers.
Fucking huge.
Former Ann Arbor guy, or from Ann Arbor. Signed to a 5-year, $5.5 million contract. Then we got David Perron signed to a 2-year, $4.5 million contract. And finally, Dominic Kubalik signed to a 2-year contract as well. So getting some D pieces in here as well as a first or second line center. I think that this is really good. I like that we're building it slower with these pieces for a shorter amount of time because in 4 or 5 years, I think we'll be making those bigger signings and have more people attracted to Detroit hockey like they used to be when people used to want to come play for Detroit because we were the hockey destination. I think we're headed back that way.
I'd say even 2-3 years. I'd say it could be even sooner than that because the signings are good, and I think the signings are, like you said, they're just smart signings because a lot of people forget us getting basically a healthy Verana to start the year is like us making a free agency signing.
Literally huge. We didn't have them all of last year.
That's a piece we didn't have last year. That's going to be like we made a signing. Like that is not spending $1 either. It's just someone that was injured who's going to be there. So I think that he helps. Like you just said, we've signed probably a second line center. So more depth. I like everything that Stevie Y's doing, and I think that he's making the smart signings. Love it. Luke?
I love these signings. I've been trusting Steve. I love Steve. I've been loving every move he's been taking. The only person I just wanted a little bit more answers was Ali Mata. I was just like, hey, why we taking this guy?
Yeah, I sent him in the group chat, and I was like, I'm gonna be honest, boys, I have no idea who the fuck
I
this
was
guy
like,
is.
you being
Well, I know we needed a defenseman. We needed a left-handed defenseman, and we needed a bigger defenseman. He fits all those categories.
Put him with Cider.
Luke explained earlier that in the group chat when we were talking earlier that he at the end of the day does go up and down like Baker Mayfield does in football games. He does that every year with his points, so he's probably, according to the numbers, not going to be putting up a lot of points next year. But maybe that's not why he's here.
Maybe he's here to stop
he's
them
here
from big points.
to be the opposite of what Erickson was, and he's just supposed to, be the
Stop him.
defensive defenseman.
Erickson.
But
Play
when
defense.
I think of Jonathan Erickson, I just think of like someone that never played defense as a defenseman. Like they didn't play defense. How the fuck?
I learned a lot of hockey from him because I just learned what not to do.
Yeah.
I just watched him. I was like,
you.
okay, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Okay, got it.
It's like, man, if this guy's doing it in the pros, if I can learn to not do that in fucking high school, I'll be fine.
I never understood
Exactly.
how he
Then
made
you'll
it
be
to the
great.
pros.
Then you'll be absolutely just fine. But that is all we have for the NHL free agency. So we will get into UFC with Snoop Luke coming up next. Peace. I'm out.
I'm talking in guap, now I'm speaking it fluent. When I hit the road, I won't leave till I do it. Acting out of hand, I'm like, be what you doing. We started off good, can't believe that we ruined it, yeah. I tried to fix with a sewing kid, yeah. I tried to fix it, you know I did, yeah. I tried to fix it, you know I did, yeah.
Well, we got a little fight recap, which was, we kind of already went over a tiny, teensy little bit. But we're going to start with the co-main event from Fight Night last weekend, or this past weekend. Ciao Bralo takes the decision over Armand Pestrosian. Boom. I told you he was going to take that bitch.
You were right. I'll be
That
honest.
What?
It was a good fight, but I kept waiting for more to happen. Does that make sense? That's how I felt. The whole fight.
I've seen a decent amount of fights like that this year.
Yeah, that's how I felt. But it was a decent fight.
Then, for the main event of the night, Rafael Fiziev knocks out Rafael Dos Anjos. Well, more of a TKO than a knockout, but 18 seconds into the fifth round.
Yeah, Fiziev looked good too.
He looked dude, that man's an animal. That guy's an animal. I'm definitely going to be watching most of his fights now.
And Fiziev has been on, this is what, his fifth straight knockout?
Yeah, dude.
He's been
His
on
last couple of fights have been exciting as fuck.
Yeah. He's getting a lot of hype around him.
But moving on to the Fight Night preview for this upcoming weekend, we have for the co-main, Michelle Waterson taking on Amanda Lemos. I'm gonna have to be taking me some Amanda Lemos in this fight. I love Michelle Waterson. I give her my respect, but Lemos is on a tear right now, and, I've been backing her last couple fights. I'm going to back her on this fight.
You have been backing her, and I didn't really know who she was, but every time you've been backing her, she's been winning, and that's how I've gone to know her and like her. So I'm going to continue backing you and backing her. So I'm also going to take Lemos.
All right, Lemos it is. Let's go. Now for the main event. This is going to, we all love to see him fight. Everyone does if you watch the UFC or MMA in general. Brian Ortega is taking on Yair Rodriguez. And I'm going to have to be going with my boy, Brian Ortega, bro. How could you not? He's pissed. He's like, fuck, I didn't submit Volk. I need to submit some motherfucker now. He's feeling it. I like it.
Ortega's been the closest Volk's had on this run that he's been to taking the title from him. And I don't think that Ortega's
The
momentum.
closest he did have it taken
He
from
had
him.
it for a split second.
That
and
was
then
a
Japan got
fully
out of it.
locked in fucking choke, dude.
I don't know how the fuck Volk still got out of that.
He
bitch,
was
but
Volk said he was starting like the light started to dim. Like the light started to dim in Volk's eyes and he got out of that. That still is mind blowing to me.
Yeah, I agree. But what I'm saying is that momentum isn't going to stop him. So I think that he's still going to be riding that momentum
Absolutely.
of how
Just
fighter he is. So yeah.
Just because he didn't make Volk tap doesn't make Brian Ortega not a dog. He's even said it in the past. He's going to go back and start training what he was great at because he felt like he was training a little bit softer, a little bit lazier because he was like, "Oh, I'm all set in there. I'm good. Let me work on the stuff that I'm bad at." And he's been
Right.
working at the stuff he's been bad at for so long. His perfectionist craft started to like go out a little bit.
I get that. And I like that. Because at the same time, he's a great fighter. I just feel like there's a lot of things that all fighters feel like they need to work on, but man, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah. And that's all we really got for UFC. There hasn't been a whole lot of news popping off, really. It's honestly been kind of a little bit boring the last couple weeks.
I agree.
Except for the fights.
Yeah, I have one last thing news wise because it just popped up. But Luke, if you want to touch on this real quick, Max Pacioretty has gone from Vegas to the Canes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh shit.
Yeah, that just happened. So
I mean,
we can talk about this real quick before we roll out of here. Ty, I don't know if you want to come back in and talk about this real quick, but it's a little good piece of information.
That's huge. Max Pacioretty going to the.
So yeah, the left winger in Vegas is officially been acquired. Max Pacioretty and Dylan Coughlin are both from the Vegas Knights going to the Hurricanes for future picks.
Oh shit!
I like this for Carolina. I like this 100%. I'm going to be honest with you. That helps that offense. Max Pacioretty is a point producer. So
wait, did you say they're heading to Vegas? They're heading to the Canes.
They're going from Vegas to Carolina.
Oh, I thought you said they're heading to Vegas. I was like, wait, what?
Nah, so they are now on the Canes.
Gone forever, Aaron Hernandez.
And I believe that's all we got.
And that is all we got. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching Ride the Tide podcast. Ride the Tide Sports podcast. Caught myself.
Dylan.
I did it. I caught myself. I am so proud of my fucking self for doing that. But thank you guys for watching Ride the Tide Sports podcast. Man, it's been a lot of news, and thank you for watching all of it. If you want to see any other podcasts, you can go to a couple of things. One, you can go to Six Pack Coverage. You can go to Ride the Tide on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. That's going to be at Ride the Tide 586 for those accounts. If you want merchandise, like maybe a Ride the Tides t-shirt, maybe a Six Pack Coverage t-shirt, Instagram, Twitter, like I just said, you're going to find the links. You're going to get to the website. You're going to be like, holy shit, that's a nice t-shirt. And you're going to be able to get yourself one of those. So trust me, they're hot on the market. Go get your t-shirt and make sure that you tune in next Saturday, which is the current, like 3-4 days away. And you're going to want to be there because it's going to be a big podcast type of Saturday. 2, you see the boys. All 4 of us should be there unless someone dies. But hopefully they don't. Ty?
About that.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I'm not going to be there.
What?
He's not going to be there either.
It's me and the Wander?
It's you and Jesse.
Aw, shucky ducky.
We're both going to be up north, so it's just you and Jesse.
We're going to be headed to the UP, eh?
Oh, boy, I was not ready for this.
So with that being said, go on.
But with that being said, that means Saturday you're going to get a podcast with me and the Wanderers. So you better tune the fuck in. It's going to be good. But without further ado, thank you guys for watching Ride the Tide Sports Podcast. Thank you to Six Pack Coverage. Thank you to all. Have a great rest of your night. Peace.
It's your place or it's mine, so